to another episode of Sleeping Giants, Red Star Belgrade. Now, before I get into today's episode, there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about beforehand. Basically, this is the first episode of anything that I've recorded since Thursday or Friday last week. I can't actually remember. It's Monday now I'm recording stuff because I had to record a little bit ahead. And basically, I'm going to be putting this explanation on both this and Pompey just because, you know, I feel you guys, I owe you an explanation on both of them. Basically, I was not myself last week. I was having a really rough time outside of YouTube. I'm not going to tell you exactly what. Basically, my girlfriend's mother was hospitalised, etc. I'm not going to say anything else other than that. And basically, I felt that it might have affected my videos a little bit. Unfortunately, when you're making 2 videos a day, sorry, not making 2 videos a day, but putting out 2 videos a day, there's very little time to actually just go, all right, well, I can't do that today. So basically, that was the reason for perhaps not any additional anger per se, but more to do with the irritability of the sound of my voice. And it probably didn't sound like I was particularly enjoying what I was doing very much. More so perhaps on the Pompey one than this. But I just wanted to let you know that that was basically the reason. But that being said, I am now taking a new approach to my recordings a little bit, and that is essentially to just go with the approach of just be happy. It's a game after all, it's fun, and that's what we're all here for. So I'm going to try and bring a little bit more of the attitude I use in my FM League games, which is a little bit more laid back. That doesn't mean I don't care, but I'm just going to try to relax a little bit, and hopefully that's what we're going to do today and in my other saves from now on. So hopefully it'll be a little bit more enjoyable to listen to, and just about everything basically. So there we go. Right, so a couple of things. Firstly, actually, there's a couple of things I did want to go over. Firstly, corner tactics. Now, I get people asking me about my corner tactics on both this and Pompey, so again, be saying it on both. They're not my tactics. I got them from strikerless.com. I will put a link to them in the description of the videos from now on, so you guys can go straight there. As for face packs and kit packs, I know people keep asking me about that. The links are in the descriptions. Basically, it is as simple as that, and literally there are instructions with both of them on how to install it. It is not difficult. You literally just download the file, pop it in the graphics folder. If there isn't a graphics folder, create it, then go into settings and reload or clear the cache, reload the skin, and voila, you have faces. And if anyone wants to know why my faces are bigger, that's because I have a mod, which again you can download as part of the DF11 face packs, which makes the pictures bigger. So there's that. I'm also working on my website this week. I was going to do that last week, but as you can understand, I got a little bit sidetracked with that. So I'm going to be doing that this week, hopefully, and that means I'll be able to get all the tactics that I use for my saves up on there as well. A couple more things. Firstly, I've added an attribute polygon. People have been asking me about this for ages, and I can't believe I'd forgotten to do it. So there you go. We've added it in here. So now you can... I know some of you prefer to see attribute polygons because that's just the way you like to look at things. So I personally don't see them is that useful, but everyone has a different opinion, so there you go. Hopefully that'll help. Also, a few people said that they couldn't see the red stats properly, and I personally couldn't see them that well, but unfortunately there wasn't a red that actually, like, I looked at some of the different reds, I could only make it darker, and making it darker actually made it worse, so I've had to make the red stats a light blue, but they're nice and visible, so that's the main thing. So just remember, the light blue stats, obviously, are now going to be worse. It was just the best colour I could find that stood out and was different from the others, basically. Red just wasn't working for us with this setup. So there we go. Also, I talked to you guys last week about kits. Basically, the kits... I haven't really decided what I'm going to do, but I have taken all your suggestions on board. I'm probably going to have the sponsor as Serbia Telecom, because as someone pointed out to me, I can't remember who it was, I think it might have been Funkstar Gaming, but if it isn't, I apologise, that they sponsored the basketball team at Red Star as well. So I figured it might be quite nice. I've managed to get a version of their logo that I can use, so it will probably be them. I haven't decided on the manufacturer as yet. Obviously, by the time you hear this, I may well have done, so there is also that. I won't be using them until the start of the next season, though. I want to bring them in at a reasonable time. Plus, it gives me a chance to actually make them, because it does take a little while to make them, plus to make the 3D kits to go with them, basically. So there we go. That's what the situation is regarding kits. If anyone had any comments about that, I would have already replied to them by the time you hear this. I'm just letting you know, in case you were wondering but didn't feel the need to comment on it. Right. So, let's jump into what's happened this month. It's been a short month, and I know that some of you guys were giving me different ideas on what sort of ways I could progress the season a bit quicker with regards to the Champions League and stuff. So what I basically decided to do is do what I usually do with regarding the Champions League. So we will livecom all our home games, obviously. We'll livecom the away games against, so for example, Galatasaray, of which we already did, of course, and also against the side that we could potentially be battling with for second place. So, and I will skip the game against Bayern Munich, basically. That we'll do something else for that one. Also, in regards to the second half of the season, I agree with this. Maybe just cut it down into slightly larger chunks, basically, so that we get through that second half of the season a little bit quicker, depending on whether we're in Europe, of course, or not. I'll give it a try this year, and I'll let you guys see what you think about it, basically, because at the moment it's taking a little too long to get through the series. I find that in Europe, it tends to slow things right down, and sometimes that's good, but also sometimes that's bad, because you do want to see a little bit of progression, because you want to get some success going. So that's basically what we're going to do regarding that. Right, let's actually get into what's happened this month. So as you know, in our last episode, we lost 1-0 to Bayern. I can't really be too bothered, in the sense that we were probably the better side and might even have deserved to win on the night, but we weren't against Galatasaray, and we got the win. So I feel like we probably, you know, if those results were the other way round, maybe it would have been a bit more just, but it doesn't matter, because the point is, we lost. But we're now at home against Manchester United today, so we have a chance to redeem ourselves potentially if we can play as well. Now, our first game of the month was at home to Partizan, and this was a very, very strange game. It's been a weird month in general, if I'm honest. As you can see from the stats of this game, more so than the actual goals themselves. We were obviously, as you can see, vastly the better side in this one. Lots of possessions. It was probably our most dominant in terms of shots, possession, and stats-wise win over Partizan. As you can see, the ball just deflecting off of Čirković there to make it 1-0 on 18 minutes. And we were very good, as you can see, but we just couldn't put our chances in the net. This one, I feel, probably was a bit unlucky not to count as an actual goal. I think this comes in off to Fedzic there, not Petrovic, but okay. We'll take it. And it actually ended up being 2-0 to us. And yeah, they scored both our goals, which, if anything, actually makes it more embarrassing and actually made me enjoy it a little bit more. Perhaps we could have won a little bit more. I'm not too bothered. The point is, we beat Partizan and went 12 points clear of them, and 6 points clear in the league as a result of that, which was really important. Now, our last game of the month, not last game of the month, the second game we played, and the only other game in this episode, was away at Radnik Serdulica, and I just knew at some point we were going to have one of these games, because you can't play well, or sorry, you can play well every week, but you're not always going to get the result, and sometimes that luck just isn't going to be there, and today was one of those days. It wasn't quite, the problem I think for us today was we had a lot of shots, as you can see, but as you can also see, it was a bit of a struggle to get any of the bastards on target. We still probably deserve to win the game, I'm not saying that, but I think perhaps we could have done a bit better in front of goal, and it's our fault for that, basically. Good header there from Vukan Savic put us in front on 35 minutes. Now, I have prepared a defence tactic, which is just a variation on this tactic that I can switch to. The plan was to switch to it around about 75 minutes. Unfortunately, if we're still one goal up, if we're more than that, then it's not really so important. Unfortunately, just before I was about to do that, we conceded one of those type of goals. I have it on good knowledge, apparently, that they are patching the goalkeeper's reactions a little bit more in the new one, but I don't really know that for sure. So that, I mean, not that he would have saved that anyway, but the point is, I think perhaps we were a little bit unlucky, but the point is, we didn't lose the game, and that's the key thing here. We're still unbeaten. It's not a big deal. We're still winning the league, as you can see here. We are still 4 points clear at the top. Unfortunately, it could have still been 6 there, had that been the case. And obviously, Partizan are back to 10 points behind us now, but we're still unbeaten in the league, as are Jagodina, though. So there's still a lot of positives to be taken. We're doing much, much better in the league. We've started off well, and that's a rare thing. Like, we've not always started the league the best, basically, and it's nice to see that. Also, defensively, we've been incredibly strong. Only conceded 6 times this season, and that is something I am incredibly proud of, because I'm trying to build defensively solid teams, basically, and it's been difficult. It's been a long road to get here, but I feel that today might be the day that we can do that. As for how we're going to do in today's game against Manchester United, that is a totally different question. We're just going to have to wait and see. Now, given how well we played against Manchester United, against Bayern Munich, there's every chance that we could maybe pull something off here, but that might have just been them on an off day. But as you can see from their team news, Fellaini is ineligible, Phil Jones is suspended, 4 players, don't know who he is, out injured, David De Gea, fractured wrist, and Adnan Januzaj is also doubtful. So there's a chance that Man United will be playing quite a weakened side, and if we can catch them at the right time, I think we could maybe come up with an upset today. Now that I've said that, of course, we are going to get our butts spanked, but it's just, they're going to bend us over and just, yeah. But hopefully that isn't going to happen. So let's get into the match preview screen. Oh, what am I talking about? We need to see some squad. Right, so here we go. Top goal scorer is Vukan Savic with 13. Jovic really does need to sort of step it up a little bit. He's a little bit jaded. We played quite a few games lately. I'm going to definitely be resting them for the game coming up soon, because we've got a cup game and it is against a 3rd tier side. So again, we can rest players, which is important. Aaron Zahavi did cause a bit of trouble this month, but I've managed to sort of squash that little uprising he was trying to call. Assists, it is, well, what is it? It's Luka Jovic with 6, which is actually good. It shows that he's contributing in other areas of the team. And of course, Adamenko is right up there, as to be expected. Player of the matches, Vukancevic is right up there as well with 4. Yellow cards, Bazan Vera has 5, and he is actually going to be suspended for our next league match, but he could probably do with the rest anyway. Red cards, none yet. Average rating, well, Abando did well in the game he did play. Nikola Antic is top, and that is good to see. Aerial challenges, let's just have a little look. Bazan Vera, of course, is right out there, but again, Luka Jovic is still up there on aerial challenges, which I really do like. Maybe we should start getting some more crosses in. It might be a sort of plan B, potentially. Key passes, Militic is up there. Ristic is starting to catch up a little bit now, but still, not quite looking the guy that we thought he was, or that he has been in the previous couple of years. Key tackles, Vera and Lazic with 14 apiece. Interceptions, of course, Vera is miles away on that one. And, of course, value is Jovic and Bazan Vera tied. Mistakes leading to goals, Bazan Vera and Darko Lazic with 1 apiece. Right, let's now jump into the team selection. Now, who could we actually... We've got a bit more players to choose from today, although that being said, who's really... As much as Jovic is a bit knackered, if there's one game we need him for, it's Manchester United. I will rest him against Mladost if I have to. At least we've got options off the bench. We can bring on the likes of Toshka, and we've got a few more options. Is Ristic really that unfit? He kind of is. That's the problem with this time of year. We do need that extra squad depth, and that's why it's going to take a little while to build that up, but... I don't know, we're just going to have to do our best. Maybe I'm going to put Bajic in instead of Stankovic. I just prefer him as a goalkeeper. I know the game doesn't agree, but I personally think that Bajic is just a better goalkeeper. What? Something about him I just prefer. I don't know what it is. Like, I think it's his... Things like off the... rushing out, I don't know, like... I just prefer him as a goalkeeper. I think it's just because it looks like he has more potential, probably. I've also added in the match ratings thing down here, so hopefully that will help as well. So let's just let's go for this. Let's just see what we can come up with. This is the alternate tactic. As you'll notice, all I've done basically is drop the fullbacks turned them into fullbacks, put them on defensive, put my centre mid on defensive, and turned both my inside forwards onto support roles, basically. That is the only changes. It's just to drop us back a little bit and make us a bit more defensively solid. It also has different instructions, which again, this stuff will all be going up on the website. So that should be okay. Let me just make sure we're not... no, we don't want to be... We're already on key highlights. There we go, 2D Classic. Right, let's go for this. Hopefully Bayern will do us a favour and batter Galatasaray. If they could do that, that would just be delightful. Right, let's see what they're going for here. Abubakar up front. Balel... Basachikoglu, Luke Shaw on the left wing, interesting. Ander Herrera, Thiago, Daley Blind, Johnny Evans, Marcus Rojo, Lascelles, isn't he the guy from Nottingham Forest? And Versalico? Apologies, he's Croat, I believe. And in goal, Milinkovic Savic. Why have they got so many Eastern European players suddenly playing for Manchester? Oh, I've only just noticed 2 of them, but that still seems like a lot. And Mitrovic as well. Interesting. It doesn't seem like a particularly strong side. I know we're only a few years into this save, but it seems a bit weak for Manchester United. Do you know what I mean? Like, Abubakar is the sort of player that usually signs for a sort of Liverpool Spurs types of teams on FM, I've noticed. Or he certainly has on any other save I've done. Anyway, let's just get straight into this. I know I've said that a few times now, and we have yet to do so. So hurry our asses up. Let's go. I just want to see a performance tonight. Just anything that isn't an embarrassment, I'll be happy with. And if we can play as well as we did against Bayern here, then I think there's a chance that we could maybe nick a point. And a point here could be quite crucial, actually, in terms of us making sure that we get that spot. Although it could also be crucial, because if we do beat Manchester United here, and I'm saying if, then there is that chance that we could nick into second place. Although it's still going to be a long shot. Jovic comes back. The ball is... I have to say, that was very, very suspect. I don't really think we deserved a penalty out of that, but look at this, how we've started. We've started just like we did against Bayern. Luka Jovic stepping up, and it's 1-0 to Red Star Belgrade. We've done what we couldn't do against Bayern Munich. We lead Manchester United here by a 0-0. What a win this would be, I have to say. Also, I really should point out, if we win this, there is a real chance of us getting into second spot, because we've still got a home game against Galatasaray to come, people. Remember that. We have a home game against Galatasaray to come, which means conceivably we could get ourselves onto 9 points, which is a really high amount. And wow, we've started incredibly well here. Look at this. But that doesn't mean we're not going to bugger it up. And I'm not going to go defensive just yet, but I am prepared to do so when I feel the time is right. Militic is in for 2-0. It is, isn't it? It's Red Star Belgrade 2, Manchester United 0. I'm in shock here. This is exactly how well we played against Bayern. If anything, it's even better. We really have made this home stadium a fortress. I don't know what De Gea is doing in goal. Oh, it's not De Gea, is it? I don't know what the keeper's doing there, but it is 2-0 to Red Star. Right, at half-time, I'll probably switch to our more defensive style system. If we can get to half-time at 1-0, which we almost certainly will be able to. See, now I'm in a really tough position, because as much as... it's a really, really tough one. Because I'm just wondering what to do. We're 2-0 up, which is unbelievable. But they're Man United, and they're probably going to come at us. Do we sit back immediately, or do we wait till like 60 minutes? Do we give it the first 15 minutes and see what happens? I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go give it the first 15 minutes, see what happens. If... see, they've changed stuff around a lot now. In fact, who have they changed? Luke Shaw doesn't even appear to be on the pitch anymore. They've brought him off for Vieto, and yeah, I would agree, thankfully. So they do seem to have changed the system. Well, have they really changed the system, or have they just changed the personnel? I think what we're going to do is we're going to go for the first 15 minutes of the second half on the same tactic, and then if it gets to that point and we're still 2-0 up, if of course they score at any point in that, we'll immediately switch to the defensive tactic. But if it was still 2-0 up at that point, then I might start to drop back a little bit and just say, right, come on then, break us down. But I still worry that they might... If they score, of course, I will switch immediately to the more defensive... Oh, wow, great tackle. But we need to push out a little bit and start trying to block them. There we go, great tackle again, but we're not getting to the balls now. Abubakar's through and it's 2-1. Right, okay, switching tactics now. It has to be done. Clearly, this is going to be about defending now, as it has been. But we've still got a defensive... We've still got an attacking threat with that system, of course. But we do need to try and defend this lead. And unfortunately... It's a difficult one, really. It really is difficult, and they've made another change. And hang on, Vieto's come off now. They've substituted the substitute, and it's a tactical. That's really odd. They've made 2 substitutions already, people. Jovic is looking a little bit knackered. That doesn't mean we can't come up with something special. Oh, that's poor. I really do worry for us in this game now. I can't believe we're 2-0 up. But the thing is, I mean, what do you do in that situation? We had to go defensive at some point. Maybe I could have done it at half-time, but then I don't know whether that would have made much difference. They're going to come at us, and it's up to us to try and stop them, basically. Admittedly, the 2-goal lead would have been better to go in with than a 1-goal lead, but we need to... Oh. Right, come on. Oh, what a save by Bajic. That's better. Overall, though, we have still probably been the better team. They've had the better of the second half. That much I will absolutely agree on. Right, we'll probably best make our first substitution, but they've still not exactly battered us. That's what I would say. Right, Jovic is going to have to come off because he's just not fit at the moment, and he's not really done a great deal for us at the moment. I'm looking at probably bringing on Fedzic and maybe Georgie Pia. No, maybe not Georgie Pia, what we're talking about. Mate, we're on defensive. We are certainly allowing them onto us, but then what other choice have we got here? Right, next substitution. I'm going to bring on... Oh, wow. Adamenko is looking a little bit... It might have to be Edward Adamenko. In fact, no, screw it. We're going to have to make... Right, now I'm going to make the double here, because I was only going to make it in like 5 minutes' time anyway. It's also that we will get an injury, but you've got to make substitutions at some point. So, Georgie Pia is a decent replacement, I have to say, for Adamenko. And Fedzic on. I think at the very worst, we could earn ourselves a draw here. I would... Very, very unfortunate, I think, if we were to lose this game from this position. But you just don't know with these things, do you? I might even put it on contain if... Oh, hello. Savicevic, ball in. Bazan Vera, wow. That was a really good opportunity. We should have probably scored there, actually. That's disappointing. I think we probably could have put that one away. Oh, I'll tell you what, though. Militic. Oh, hello. He's onto it here. Toshka. Oh, he's lost it. But straight back down here. I think Man United could get caught here. Savicevic. Militic. Round the corner again, maybe. No, not quite. Just keep blocking that long ball. They do seem to be hitting it long quite a fair bit. And if we can just keep... Right, come on, please close him down. I do have it set to close down more. Thiago... Oh, I worry here. I think that's surely offside. Yeah, I was going to say, he's miles offside. Right, for the last few minutes, we're just going to go on contain here. And we're going to tell the teams to tighten up. If we can get a 2-1 win here. And Galatasaray beating by me... They bloody well are, aren't they? This group is getting a little bit... interesting, is the word, perhaps? With... Oh, man. It could be in a... Right, okay, let's just talk about this after the game. If we can get through the next 3 minutes of this one... Oh, I'll tell you what. Pia. Please don't lose the ball. To Fedzic. Cernic, don't lose it out here. Don't lose it out here. There we go. Keep the ball. Gajic, Toshka, Savicevic, round the corner for Miletic, and it's a good save in the end by Milinkovic. And I think that's going to do it for us, guys. I think we're about to pull off, and I think probably on the balance of the game we do deserve it. But I do think dropping to that defensive tactic in the end probably did the trick for us. There we go. Red Star 2, Manchester United 1, and hello, next round. We have shut a lot of people up after that. It's incredible. I'll tell you what, guys, we really do seem to have built a tactic that works well at home. But because Galatasaray have beaten Bayern Munich, it is all a little bit skew-whiff in the league here. We've got Galatasaray, remember, and we could potentially go on to 9 points with that. And, well, I mean, we've got Galatasaray, which means Bayern will play Manchester United. Chances are Bayern will beat Manchester United, although who knows? They did seem to have their number when they played them in the first game, which means that potentially we could find ourselves 6 clear of Manchester United, and with a better goal difference. And probably better on head-to-head, unless they batter us at Old Trafford. Tell you what, guys, there's every chance that we could genuinely go through in, like, second or maybe even first, because of the way that teams are beating each other. I might set up away from home with that defensive tactic in the games against Bayern and Man United, just to see if we can try and nick a point at either of those two, or should we just go for it? I don't know. I would say let me know what you think in the comments, but unfortunately I would have recorded those probably before this video actually comes out, so that's probably not such a wise choice. So there you go, basically. Wow, I'm in shock. This, considering how tough of a group this actually looks, we are making a real go at it, and you never know, we could maybe even get through, and that would do wonders for our coefficient. You just never know what we could come up with, especially with our ability to beat teams at home. So guys, wow, I'm impressed. Let's just take a little look. In the next game, right, it's away at Manchester United, so I will, of course, be doing that one. It's the last game that we won't be showing as a... then again... I'm actually tempted to not show the Manchester United game in the next one, simply because if I'm not showing the Bayern game, then I'd have to show the Proletar Novi Sad game, and that seems a bit pointless, so I may as well just be showing a Champions League match. Because after that there's no games until February, and then that would be quite a large chunk to cut out. So I think what I might have to do here is skip the Manchester United away match, and then we can do Galatasaray and Bayern, because, you know, that's probably more important, because it could come down to that last game, just to see where we are, and I think that one would be a bit more tense. So I think that's what I'm going to have to do. Apologies for that, it's just the way that the fixtures have come out this time, but you see what I'm trying to do, I hope. Anyway, right, if you like what you've seen, and I really hope you have, because that's probably our biggest win. Or is it? I mean, it's probably up there with one of our biggest wins we've had in this save, so that's awesome. So, if you like what you've seen, please drop a like on the video, and if you'd like to even more than that, please subscribe to my channel for more Portsmouth and Red Star Belgrade in your inbox every single day at 5:30 and 8 o'clock, and I'll see you guys in the next episode for, well, it'll be the Galatasaray home game. So, wow, let's just, hopefully we'll be in an awesome position coming into that game, but only time will tell. I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye-bye.